It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do. But the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face, and after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, the Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pistol players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. The Friday Night Freak Show has begun, and we've got a lot of stuff to dig into. We've got a lot of stuff to bet on. We've got a lot of stuff to preview. We've got a lot of stuff to break down, and we've got a lot of guests to do it with this evening. Connor Mack picks in the house. We'll talk Major League Baseball, NBA Finals, and more with Connor. The Ranger Redhead Cam Stewart in the house. Lou Gamblu.com kicks it with us. College Baseball World Series, LSU, Coastal Carolina, UFC, Fight Night. We break it down with Gamblu. Tony Finn joins us straight from the Strip, Area 51 in Nevada. Tony Finn on the radar this evening. Rob Vino, normally a part of the cast of the Friday Night Freak Show. Rob is a late scratch tonight due to electrical and power issues and weather issues in the Philadelphia area. But we're still locked and loaded, and we're ready to go. Let's start off Major League Baseball. All hell broke loose last night at Chavez Ravine. San Diego and Los Angeles clearly do not like each other very much. This is the best rivalry in baseball by far, and it's the best rivalry in baseball since the Yankees and Red Sox. Now, the Yankees and Red Sox have been played out. It's not the same anymore. But this is as good as it was like when Pedro Martinez rolled Don Zimmer, the gerbil, like a bowling ball, right? Like, this is as good as it gets. These teams, like, legit, like, they're ready to throw down in the parking lot. Yet I get the feeling that, like, San Diego would be the dudes that are, like, going to start pulling guns out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting pretty hostile between the two of them. But it is what it is. And they were going back and forth, and they're hitting each other and all that. So I don't think things are going to be as emotional at Chavez Ravine tonight as the Dodgers host the Washington Nationals. Gore on the hill here tonight for the Nats. And I'll tell you what, he's a really good pitcher, but the Los Angeles Dodgers are a really good team. And the Los Angeles Dodgers have lit this guy up like a spliff on the back of Willie Nelson's tour bus. If you look at, like I said, Gore's a really good young pitcher, but a lot of Dodgers have hit him pretty hard. Limited sample sizes. Very small, but nevertheless. Mookie Betts, 6 at-bats. He's got 3 hits. He's hitting .500 against him. Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani has 6 at-bats in his career against Mackenzie Gore. He's got 2 home runs in the 6 at-bats. He's hitting 500 against him. Freddie Freeman. 7 at-bats in his career against Gore. 4 for 7, hitting 571. So you get where I'm going with this. Ohtani hit Gore when he saw him. Betts hit him when he saw him. Freeman hit him when he saw him. And Oscar Hernandez was 2 for 6. So we'll throw that in there as well. So as good as Gore is, a lot of the Dodgers have had success. And you know how we roll. This will be one of these nights tonight where we just play, we play the Dodger total base props here, right? We're not going to overthink this thing. We'll play the Dodgers total base props, and we'll go Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases, Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases, Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases. And you're getting pretty good prices considering. They never really adjust with Mookie Betts. This is one of the better bets in baseball, actually. The Mookie Betts special over 1.5 total bases. You're often getting plus money with Mookie, and all it takes is a double, 2 singles. So as far as the total bases, exact numbers for this game, Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases, plus money. You're getting plus 100. Mookie Betts, we're getting plus 130. Like, really? Plus 130 with Mookie Betts for 2 bases? Okay. I'll take it. So Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 plus 100. Mookie Betts over 1.5 plus 130. And we talked about Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman having good numbers. Freddie Freeman not in the lineup tonight. So just for the record, Freddie Freeman not in the lineup. But we're going to play the Ohtani over 1.5 total bases, and we'll go Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases. I think the Dodgers are going to win this game. Gore's good, but he's 3-6. They're like 2. I think they're 2 in like 4 in his last 6 starts, type thing. They don't always win when he pitches. You know what I mean? They're a terrible baseball team right now. They're the Nationals, the Dodgers have struggled at times in Washington. But I've told you that. Like, the Dodgers will lose to bad teams sometimes, but that'll happen on the East Coast. And they lost to Washington. Remember, they went to the White House and they got lit up a couple hours later, earlier this year. I think they lost 2 or 3 against Washington earlier. But give me the Dodgers minus 1.5 on the run line. And this is plus money. We're getting plus 110. Anytime you're getting plus money, I don't have a problem with it. So minus 1.5. And as we stated, as far as the player props, Mookie Betts over 1.5 and Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases. Let me get these plays. We got so much action going on here, man. The bullets are flying live. I remember years ago, I saw a story about a sports talk show host in Cleveland. He got arrested, fired and arrested for betting at work. He was betting on football games from the radio station and stuff. And, he got caught up in some bookie ring and stuff. That's one thing I love about SportsGrid is, we'll get fired if we don't bet. You got to bet. It's part of my job description. So here, I got to get this bet in here right now. It's part of the show, sir. So yeah, we got to get the bet in. There's one of them, and now let's get Shohei Ohtani in. And let's keep this thing rolling right now. Pretty nice synergy, actually, that the Devers and the San Francisco Giants are playing the Boston Red Sox already. This is a quick turnaround. All right, this is a quick turnaround, and you better believe this game goes off the board in about 5 minutes. The Dodger game starts in 1 minute, 7:10. This is a 7:15 start in the Bay Area. So Rafael Devers, and you better believe we're going to be playing the Devers player prop over 1.5 total bases. So and I added the home run prop as well. Hey, why not? The revenge bomb. You know what I'm saying? The revenge bomb. Rafael Devers plus 390 to hit a home run this evening. So we played that for him to hit a home run. We also played over 1.5 total bases. Devers over 1.5 total bases plus 100. Are San Francisco going to win the game? That's another story. I saw this and I'm like, well, I'm playing Devers. You got to. There's certain times you just play the narrative. Other times you fade the narrative. But basically, if Devers goes deep in his first at bat against the Boston Red Sox, Do you really not want to be part of it? Bird song. Sounds like a racehorse. And down the stretch comes bird song. Although not quite as good as my suggested name for a racehorse the other night. Drunk driver. I don't know if they'd be able to stop you. It's not offensive. You know what I mean? There's a lot more offensive horse names because, you know what I mean? When you got a young horse, they have to approve your name. You can't just name it anything. They got to approve the name. But and here comes drunk driver down the stretch. Drunk driver on the outside. But bird song on the hill here, minus 125 against Dobbins. Red Sox, plus 105. Guardians and Athletics are playing, but does it really matter? If a baseball bat cracks in a forest, does anybody notice? Royals in San Diego. Somebody better get some tissues out for San Diego. They're probably still crying about last night in Los Angeles. We got Bayern Munich up 1-0 at the half. The freak show's begun. Bring it.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Dog days of summer. The only dogs are the underdogs that have been barking in the FIFA Club World Cup as the Brazilians and the Argentinians undefeated as of now. But I think that streak could come to an end this evening. But a lot of stuff to break down. We got live CFL football right now. Bayern Munich and the Boca Juniors have just gotten started in the second half. Bayern lead 1-0 over Boca. And as I stated, so Boca, for those of you unfamiliar, the Boca Juniors, they're from Argentina. And teams from Brazil and Argentina, although Brazil's carrying the water for the most part, but teams from Brazil and Argentina have now played 9 games in the FIFA Club World Cup. They have 7 wins, 0 losses, and 2 draws. We told you that these teams want the money, that they want to send a message. They want to make, and also they're showcasing themselves, these players, to get signed from bigger teams after. So, an incredible run so far by these clubs. But Boca are in tough here tonight against Bayern Munich, obviously. And Bayern are locked in right now, despite a lot of these European giants keep losing. PSG lost last night to a Brazilian side. And then Chelsea lost today to a Brazilian side. So the powers are going down, but Bayern's aware of this. So we got a 1-0 game over Boca right now. We got CFL football, entertaining game. The game's gone over the number again, and second half has gone over. Saskatchewan second half overs. It's a weekly paycheck. But we got baseball on the board as well. Connor Mack in the house. We got the Raging Redhead, Cam Stewart. The Nationals strike early in this game. They put up a run in the first inning, 1-0 Nationals after the first, the top end of the first. Dodgers fall to -170 right now. Connor Mack, how you doing, Connor?
I'm good, guys. I love to hear you talk CFL. I get a little bit interested every year more and more because I don't bet it too much.
You
just
should.
Not, I know. Yeah, I know. I kind of like watching it, and like you talked about, is that every game the second half over for Saskatchewan?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's the Saskatchewan Roughriders I was talking about. This goes back to last year. The Roughriders last year, they play 18 games in the CFL. It was like 14-4 the second half to the over. There's just something about Rider games that they always just get crazy in the second half. So it happened once again here tonight, but this game has gone over. We're only in week 2.5 here right now. We're in the week 3, excuse me. So this is week 3. There's only been 1 game in week 3, so this is the second game of week 3. I get 3 picks per game, Connor, because we're a DGen, and we play the side, the total, and the teaser of every CFL game. We post the picks. Last year, we were 48 games over 500. This year, we stumbled out of the gate. We went 1-5 in the first 2 nights, but we came into tonight 17-10. So we're on like a nice little 16-5 run. We swept the board last night 3-0. We're gunning for another 3-0 here tonight. CFL is straight cash. I can't wait for CFL season every year. It's one of my biggest bet events of all the sports calendar, Connor.
Well, what seems, guys, you guys just know it so well. I mean, it's just year in and year out, like you talk about. And kudos to the record. I mean, not every game, side total teaser. I got to give it up to you.
Yeah, every game. I vowed to do it last year. Every game. And sometimes it's tough. It's like, wow, this is, this one's a tough one. But, and we bet the same amount every time. So we just keep smashing it, plus the in-game stuff. Beautiful. So for the record, it's 31-24. We got a close game. Saskatchewan's been up all night, but the Argos are kind of hanging around. They're down by 7, but the Riders are moving the ball. They're inside the red zone right now. 31-24, under 4 minutes remaining. I got the Riders minus the points. I got the over in the game that's already hit. And I got a teaser with the Riders and a bunch of in-game overs that have hit. What are you on here, Cam? The Riders or the Argos?
I'm actually took the Riders. Gabe, I did one of my patented double teasers. That line went to 5.5. Argos plus 12.5, and got Saskatchewan on the other side, both to the over like you. Got lucky, I guess, in that Edmonton game, hit that live bet last night that helped. But you're absolutely correct. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, if you're listening, Connor, Gabe's right. Every time the second half, even if they start slow, they go absolutely bananas. Turnovers, points. Rob Vino's in on it. So, yeah, we'll tell everybody who knows. So, Gabe, hopefully we can have a good night tonight. The Argos, they're showing a little bit of fight tonight.
It could be in trouble. They're about to be down 17, actually. The Rough Riders are on the one. The Rough Riders are on the 1 yard line. They're about to score. Oh, is it a penalty? Who's the penalty on? But yeah, but the Riders are looking to punch one in here, although there's a penalty on the play. They're up by 7. We'll see if the Argos could backdoor this after All right, so baseball last night, Connor. Last night, San Diego and L.A. all hell broke loose. They're playing the Nationals tonight, but the Dodgers are coming off a loss. So you could say, well, it's kind of a flat spot for them after they had a near riot last night at the stadium. But, they're coming off the loss. Washington puts the early run on the board. What do you think about the Dodgers, Nationals, and late baseball board?
That game, this one, I'd love to if we hit a second. Maybe we could hit tomorrow's Red Blacks game. I just saw you guys going off on the CFL.
I'll get you caught up to date. There's a lot of injuries in that game tomorrow, but yeah, we
okay.
got that.
Okay, cool. I know. I was looking at that a little bit.
You got him hooked already. Like, hey,
yeah, I was just
that was a cash cow. You're like,
they're both games tomorrow. I'm going to the BC Winnipeg game tomorrow, Bombers Lions. But both games, Connor, are actually on the CBS Sports Network tomorrow too. So you can watch them on TV. Yeah, they'll be on TV tomorrow.
Well, like you said, DJ, it just zones me in to start looking at it and handicapping. But yeah, I thought this kind of was the flat spot in this game. Obviously, it went from 8.5 to 8, and the line moved down a little bit, minus 200, down to like 185, 190 is the classic. Now we got a Nats team that, has finally won a game after losing 12 straight. So I didn't think their offense would do much. Little shocked with the run in the first. Kershaw's like that. You know how he's been. Okay, it's been a little bit of a problem for him as he's gotten over the first inning. It is with a lot of pitchers. But I think he can settle in here. I'd look at the live under.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week and confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so the Nationals get out of the bottom of the first inning. It's 1-0 for the Nats. As we're going to the break, Connor's right. Kershaw's been working himself back into game shape here, and he often gives up a couple of runs early. It's actually, I'm sure the Dodgers are happy it was only one. He gives up a couple of runs early, then he settles down, and he gives up 3-4 runs or whatever, and they get him out of there after 5 or so. Wow. This kicker for the Rough Riders is a real problem. A real problem. He just missed like He just missed like a 30-yarder right now. And again, like last week, he missed 3 field goals. He missed 3 field goals and an extra point, and the freaking total lost by 1 point because of this guy.
Oh.
Now tonight they got a 7-point lead. You're trying to ice the game for them, and he misses like a 30-yarder off the upright again. It's like constant with this guy. Like the coach is like, oh, he's on our team, we support him, but like he's just bad. Like go be a fireman or something like that, bro. Like, you know.
No, I'm
like,
with you.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be a football player anymore.
You're right, Gabe. And when you watch him kick, these aren't like 50-yarders and whatever. These are easy chip shot field goals that other guys, automatic. Like he's always been a problem, and that's Saskatchewan's weak link. No, you're right, Gabe. They've defended him and stuff. I heard the pressers, but you have another week where you miss a big kick. He's done. Like you can't continue like this because the Riders have some good players on their team. You can't have a kicker like that.
So the Argos have a puncher shot here. I don't understand. So what, they gave them the point? I thought it hit the upright. I swear it hit the upright. If it hits the upright, you don't get a point. I swear it hit the crossbar. I guess it didn't. I guess it grazed right under it because it's an 8-point game now instead of 7. So they did get an extra point out of that. That's one thing, Connor, when you're betting the CFL, it helps, like these little extra points, right? You can get an extra point like for missing a field goal or on the kickoff if you jill it through the end zone, or the other team can return it if they want, right? If you miss a field goal, you can return it. Remember like the kick 6 in Alabama and Auburn? This happens all the time in the CFL. Like you got to weigh your and the field is bigger, so you got to weigh it. Like you're like, yeah, we could go for this 50-yard field goal, but if we miss it, this dude, and you got a bunch of offensive linemen on the field, this dude's going to come flying past us, and he's going to return it for a touchdown. And it happens sometimes. Or you get the single point, but the little single points are always nice when you're betting on the over. It's like, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah,
exactly. Little point.
Those ruses help us in dire situations. No, but
it softens the blow, guys, of like missing a field goal sometimes. You're like, son of a bitch. You're like, yeah, at least we got one out of that. All right. It's 1 point.
Well, now take a look at this game tonight. It goes from 7 to 8. Argos, if they get a touchdown, need a 2 to tie. So these singles in the CFL are a big deal, like over the course of the game. So we'll see what happens.
Oh my God. There's a $1.24 left in this game. We got an 8-point game. The ball's on the Rough Rider 40-yard line. The Argos just threw a bomb into the end zone. He caught it, but they're saying that he was out of bounds. Like they literally just came close to tying the game. Hell of a catch. He is out of bounds. He is. Like his foot, like when he caught it was a crazy catch and whatever. He couldn't control it, but like, wow, that was close. If you guys remember last week, the Argos dropped a Hail Mary, actually. Like they've come close on a couple of these like bomb type plays that haven't worked for them this year. All right, so I wanted to get to the 11-6 for the Rays right now over the Tigers for the record. Athletics are up 2-0 on the Guardians. This is pretty crazy, guys. The Guardians are plus 300 right now. It's 2-0. It's the bottom of the second. The Athletics suck. Like, man, what do you think, Connor? It's a pretty big number. In-game, Cleveland plus 300 right now. And, guys, we have the Devers game, too. Devers with the Giants against the Red Sox tonight.
Devers game. I have the under in that game. I think both starting pitchers could pitch well in this game. You know, Dobbins, one thing with him on the road.
Dobbins.
Dobbins, ground ball pitcher. We'll see if he can have some success. Both these offenses have been ice cold. They just haven't really done anything. It's been tough for the Giants. Now they've been a lot better here at home kind of all year, where they had, over a month ago, they had all those runs and all that offense. It's kind of cooled off. But both these bullpens have been very, very good. So I think if we could get 4 or 5 out of both of them, we get to the pin. This game can stay under. We know how San Francisco is, too. Like, the wind's swirling, it blows out, but it really doesn't. It's like the saying, what's the coldest winter was the summer in San Francisco. It's like 55 degrees there. You guys know. So it's not an
one of the
easy
coldest
place
days of my life was in August in San Francisco.
Bingo. Nailed it.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week and confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Wow, we got a real classic going on here right now at BMO Field in Toronto. The Argonauts were down big. The Argonauts have been trailing all night, but the Rough Riders never delivered that knockout punch, and I hope you're happy right now. The field goal kicker, you just cost like this is it. All your missed kicks and your chip shot misses, you could have just made it an 10-point game. Instead, you missed the kick. The Argos just marched down the field, score the touchdown with 23 seconds left to cut the lead to 2. And then after they get the 2-point conversion after. So we got a tie football game, 32-32 with 23 seconds remaining in this game. And oh my God, in typical CFL fashion, you can't make this up. Oh my God, you can't make this up. The Rough Riders return the kickoff for a touchdown. You got to be kidding me. It's like a Buffalo Bill thing to do. Like the Argos. I can't believe what I just saw. You guys just tied the game down double digits, and you allowed a kickoff return for a touchdown.
What a game, man. I wish I was at this game, not that loser Stampeder game I went to. That game sucked compared to this. This one's a classic.
Wow. I just said it, right? I said classic before that happened. I said, well, let's turn it into a real classic.
It's
and
a
then boom.
Classic. Yeah. That's wild.
Wow.
Like what?
Terrible.
That's the only thing you can't do if you're the Argos is like they got no time. Maybe they'll do a couple hitch passes and whatever. Guy takes it back for a TD. That is heartbreaking. Wow.
I tell you, the kicker of the Riders is happy now because people are going to forget about him missing a kick after this great return. But this is we'll see if this jackass can make the extra point.
Jackass.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
We'll see.
All right, so
jackass.
He's 39.
With this guy though. He looks very uncomfortable, like behind the ball too. Gabe, see him like he almost stopped. Like I'm like, what's this guy doing? He thinks too much. Just go and kick the damn ball. Like you're a kicker.
There is still 9 seconds left in the game. I don't know, maybe the Argos have a Hail Mary left or something in them. But wow, what a wild game. 39-32. And you see, Connor, for the record, I'm on the Rough Riders minus 4.5, 5 points. You see, like when you're hot in this league.
Yeah. When you're rolling, you're rolling. I love it.
All right, NBA. Actually, first, Yeah, before the NBA Finals, Cam, any in-game baseball picks for you with these games right now?
I don't want you to cut my mic, but I actually took the Nationals. Mackenzie Gore's one of my favorite pitchers in baseball. I would say the Dodgers could be live after like the 5th or 6th inning, depending on how far a Gore goes in the game. But he's been the only good thing for the Nationals this year. Took him first 5 plus 1.5 sprinkle money line. And I'm on the Giants with Connor Mack. Giants tonight.
Connor, NBA Finals. A lot of people surprised we have a Game 7. We're not on this show. You know, we picked the Pacers plus 2.5 games in the series, so that means, we thought it was going at least 6. And I said, you know what? I think this series, and go 7 games. Oh, my God, you can't make this up. The Argos just returned it, like, all the way, but they got tackled. Wow.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You returned it like 60 yards.
Yeah.
There's a flag too, but yeah, that was wild.
If he would have returned that for a touchdown, it's a great promo, Connor, that they have. It's so like Canada, like it's a Canadian tradition. There's a grocery store called Save On Foods. They're the sponsor to CFL. Yeah, so they're sponsor to CFL. And you enter the contest during the week, and if they pick your name, so they announce before the game on TV. You know, Jennifer Smith in Sudbury, Ontario, if there are 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown in this game, you win $1 million. So that's the promo. If there's 2 kickoff touchdowns in a game, you win $1 million. And it hasn't happened in years, but there was a famous time. Remember, Cam? There was one. It happened in the first half, and then late in the game, boom, it happened. Touchdown. And the announcer even said on TV, he said, like, the lady's name, Linda Johnson, you just won $1 million. It's unbelievable. It's like, they're freaking out. Everyone's like, what a game. And then they're like, oh, no, there's a flag on the play. And there's a flag. But the flag was like 30 seconds later. It was shady. It was like, whoa. So people are like, that contest is fixed. They don't want to pay $1 million. This is garbage. Awesome. Like even the grocery store today, we don't control the referees. They gave her like $200,000 in groceries. They sent her like to Jamaica on a vacation. Like they really but the husband was all mad. Like she's like, I'm not really a football fan, but my husband nearly had a heart attack after finding out we didn't win. And like they were Bomber fans, Cam. They were in Winnipeg, and like
that was awesome. I will never forget it.
The husband wanted to sue and everything. He's like, I'm going to sue the grocery store. We're going to sue the CFL. It's like, bro. If we could all sue the CFL for a bad call, Cam, the courts would be full every day.
Oh, I know. We'd have a class action lawsuit.
If I could sue the CFL for a blown recall.
Dude, our class action lawsuit would be thicker than the Bible. We'd have so many damn
That'd be great.
Yeah,
we're suing the league because of your bad officials. Let's sue the NBA because of Scott Foster. Class action lawsuit. I bet on a Scott Foster game.
To your point, it was the shadiest. Like, it was such a late flag too, Connor. And me and Gabe were on the air. We're thinking like, did they not buy the insurance for this $1 million? It was awful. Like it was such bad PR. But yeah, no offense, Gabe. I'm with the husband too. I enjoy the free groceries for life and the trip, but I want $1 million. Sorry, give me my $1 million.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a cold world.
It is a cold world. Groceries are nice.
They got a lot. They got quite a bit. They got quite a bit out of it when it was all said and done. All right, so the NBA Finals. Actually, we're just switching back to the soccer right now. And we got a 1-1 game. Speaking of upsets and stuff and wildness, Boca, these effing South American teams won't go away. They're 7-0-2, as we were talking about now. They're drawing right now with Bayern Munich. They have not lost in 9 games. Teams from Brazil or Argentina in this tournament. We got a 1-1 game in the 77th minute right now. Let me get this one back on. So one thing on DAZN. Got to, put the app open. It's not just a channel. All right, so we're back in. NBA Finals. 7.5 is the point spread, Connor. Sunday night. How do you think this plays out? We got 2 minutes.
Wow. I mean, Game 7s, I kind of want to throw it, of course, you guys know, not just the finals. Game 7s, home team 108-31. They're 15-4. Now, 2016, Cavs, of course, buck that, but I believe the 6 or 7 before the 78 Bullets was the last road team to actually win it. nothing. The only thing is the Thunder have been so dominant at home. My main bet, I've been all over the Pacers with you, and Game 5 was crushing. I had to go right back to, Game 4. I was like, I almost wanted to put my house and
I think that was last Friday night. I think it was last week today, wasn't it? Yeah, they lost in the 6.5 screw job.
That was so crushing. That's been a long time where I was just like alone thinking, oh man. And then I knew I had to go back to this.
We were losing our minds. We were losing our minds.
Yeah, that's all. Everything. I went back and watched it like 5 times because I was just, a week ago, it was just insane. I go back to all these games except one to 1962. It's a different game now a little bit, even from 2016, is the under. All these, but like I talked about, so many threes could change it a little bit. But I'd look to the under. And one thing where the Thunder have been great is they played well at home and their defense has played it well. And where I've looked to, and I'm 5-0 with it. I stayed off game 1. It pushed or you lost at 111 is their team total. And it's gone down, though. It's 103.5, of course, with this total being at 215. But I under here. And I think the Pacers are live a little bit in this game. The talent has been too close, even with the Thunder being so good and dominant at home. SGA needs to be huge, which he could, And
7.5, though.
The small guys.
Not
7.5.
Not a lot of points, right?
Yeah.
We just saw how last week they covered the 7 out of nowhere. Thanks, Connor.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. The Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week and confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. The crazy sports summer continues. Dog days, like I said, the only dogs are the underdogs that have been barking. And we got another one barking right now. And they're this time it's the Boca Juniors. I tell you, unbelievable. 9 games that the teams from Brazil and Argentina have played in the FIFA Club World Cup so far. Undefeated. 7-0-2 right now.
That was the bad.
Lou?
Don't worry, Lou.
What's going on, Lou?
Cool. no, trust me.
What's going on, Lou? You all right? I saw you. Hey.
My wife is standing in the
Yeah, my
shop.
girlfriend does it all the time. She's like, "Can't I just come in and say hi to Gabe or something?" I'm like, "No, we're on the show, honey. It's just that it doesn't work that way." But yeah, you look good,
Honey,
Lou.
that's not the word I used.
Gabe, quickly,
doing,
Gabe, on your point before we talk to Lou. We talked about it last night. These big clubs, Chelsea's vulnerable. We called it, right? And I'm glad that you reminded me and go, I'm betting this other. Like, that's the thing. They led 1-0 and still lost in that game. So these big clubs, you're right. Like these smaller guys, they want money. They want to, it's like you're playing on a contract year. Can I get to a bigger club? Can I make more? And once you have that hunger, you're going to do anything it takes to win. Those other guys are already set up for life. They make tons of money.
Well, it's not just about the money either. It's about also there's just not there's not much of a gap with the leagues as people want to pretend there is. Right? Oh, the EPL is this and they can't do that, and the MLS suck and this and that, or Brazil is no good, and here we got a goal. Bayern, better late than never. Bayern Munich strike in the 83rd minute right now. 2-1 Bayern, 83rd minute. Man, we got a packed stadium in Miami. Great atmosphere at this match. So 2-1 Bayern in the 83rd minute right now. All right, so we got to see, people say, it's a dog days of summer and this stuff. I'm like, man, for me, summer, there's always more stuff going on because I love the summer events. As the man that joins us, Lou knows, Gamblu.com. UFC never stops. You got the College Baseball World Series right now as well. The Stanley Cup is concluded, Lou. But let's start off actually with the College Baseball World Series. I liked LSU. That was the team that caught my eye coming into this thing. But with that being stated, Coastal Carolina have won 26 consecutive baseball games, everybody. This, and you can't, this isn't like Coastal Carolina, okay, against the big bad, LSU Tigers. Coastal Carolina won a national championship not that long ago. Like, so they're not, they got a trophy in their hallway too, right? Like, so they're not intimidated by these big schools, are they, Lou? And I tell you what, they got a damn good pitching staff. From what I understand, it doesn't line up in the same way that the LSU staff did coming into this. But, I mean, Coastal get doubted all the time, and here they are in the World Series right now.
Coastal Carolina, after they beat Louisville, hardly celebrated. Their team had the attitude that they knew they were going to be here. They weren't surprised that they were going to be there, and they couldn't wait until they were going to determine which giant they were going to face. Meanwhile, LSU and Arkansas had to beat each other bloody. And yes, LSU won both of those games, but they spent some energy doing it. Now we move into the championship series, plenty of rest, plenty of pitching, plenty of everything. And outside of some coaching experience for LSU, these two teams are really, really evenly matched. Coastal in the series is a plus 155-ish. In game one, plus 130. You can see the lines makers are giving them respect, but they're not getting the respect that they deserve. These two teams, in my opinion, are right at a pick'em based on pitching. And let's just go over just a few numbers. Team ERA, Carolina, 3.2, LSU, 3.8. WHIP, 1.18 for Coastal, 1.28 for LSU. Fielding, 977, Coastal, 981, LSU. Why am I mentioning I'm not mentioning home runs or offense because they play in a huge cavernous park in Omaha. It sits down in a hole next to the river. The wind blows dead end, usually with a south wind to the hitter's teeth. And tomorrow we're going to have 25-mile-an-hour winds blowing right into the hitter's teeth. There's an 8.5 out there now. Tomorrow that 8.5 will be gone. I think Coastal Carolina is really kind of maybe a once-in-a-decade opportunity because I feel we're getting a pick'em team as a huge underdog or as a substantial underdog.
Lou, Gamblu.com in the house with us, and great insight as far as the weather. And we'll go over the game and the numbers. But so to put in context, guys, as far as Coastal Carolina is concerned, 26-game win streak right now. Before this, the longest win streak of a team that made it to the College World Series coming into this was 13 before. So, like, they're that good. Like, you know, and it's rare. For the record, guys, 26 is also the Major League Baseball win streak. Most consecutive games won. 1916 New York Giants. The Coastal Carolina have not lost since April the 22nd against the College of Charleston. That's the last time they lost a game. But here's a fascinating thing about this team, guys. The Chanticleers have been hit by a pitch in 59 of 67 games this year.
They get beamed and take a base. Yeah.
They get hit. They actually set a record. They just set a record this year after in its last game against Louisville after they got hit by a pitch. It was the 176th time they were hit by a pitch this year. 88% of their games they've been hit by a pitch. Coastal is 4 for 7 with the bases loaded in the regionals. All other teams are a combined 3 for 20. And that's something, Lou, that catches my eye about this. How about this, too? Coastal Carolina is 48-0 when leading after 7 innings this year. They have won 57 straight games when leading after 7, the longest active streak in Division I. But I wanted to get Lou's take on the other side about Coastal Carolina. They're known for their pitching, but they get timely hitting. Like, they got clutch hitters in clutch spots.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week and confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. We got a 2-1 game, Bayern Munich. Bayern actually scored. It looked like they made it 3-1, but it was offside. And it looks like, they nearly just scored there. Shout out to our boy, OG Ghetto, who's an OG listener of the show. OG, what's up, big soccer fan? He's been enjoying the tournament. We got Big Iron Scruff in the house with us, Kang. A lot of bettors, Sebastian Meyer. We got a lot of you guys. I see Chris Warren in Texas. What's up, Chris? A lot of guys that are watching the soccer in our chat tonight. And this game all these tournaments have been great. It's been great stuff. And we got it. It continues through the weekend. We'll obviously go over the slate. But we're talking College Baseball World Series right now. On the other side, we'll get into the UFC with Lou. But let's continue with the College Baseball World Series talking. Everyone talked about the SEC, and they sent like 13 teams to the regional, and like 9 of them got bounced. But you figured that one of them would survive, and then Arkansas and LSU played each other. Arkansas were the favorites. LSU were right there, though, guys. They were like plus 550, plus 600, depending on when you bet it. But you can't dismiss this Coastal Carolina team, as we were just talking about. They didn't win 26 games by accident, and as Cam was talking about, they're a dominant team. They win convincingly, and as you brought up, Lou, it's not like they haven't played people, right? We just seen in the regionals they beat a lot of big-time teams with big-time budgets, but during the regular season, like you talk about, the Clemsons, the Wake Forest, the ACCs, like these guys play everybody during the year.
This coach has done a really magnificent job of taking the Chanticleers from where they were to where they are now. And where they were is a national powerhouse. They established that in 2016 when they went down 0-1 in the series to Arizona and came back and beat them, won their national championship. And they had been to Omaha prior to that. So this is old hat. They got business to do. This should be really outstanding baseball. These kids are fit. They try hard. They hustle every play. They run down to first on walks. It's nothing like Major League Baseball. This is great baseball.
Lou's got to take the shot. Not like Major League Baseball.
That's a college better.
So for the record, LSU are minus 190 favorites to win the series. Ooh. Coastal Carolina are plus 160. As far as the game is concerned, game 1 tomorrow night, Saturday, Coastal Carolina, LSU minus 160 on the money line, plus 130. Lou, I see an 8.5 on the board right now. And for people just joining us right now, I'm Gabriel Morency alongside with Cam Stewart here, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159, GambluLou.com joining us. And Lou knows the College Baseball World Series. He's grew up around it. He's been there. He knows the weather there. And Lou, talk to us about the weather and how it affects the totals in this stadium.
Yeah, this ballpark is, first of all, it's much larger than the average college baseball park. So gorilla ball, slamming home runs isn't an option here, especially when you consider you take this cavernous park, drop it down low right next to the Missouri River in Omaha. Hitters face dead south, and in Omaha, the summer wind is south. So the wind blows dead into the hitters. Tomorrow it'll be 25 mile an hour with gusts higher at game time. I really have a hard time believing that with these two pitching staffs rested, ready to go, that we're going to see very many runs in this game. That's why it was lined 8.5, and by tomorrow, I do not believe there'll be 8.5s around any longer. People will wake up and start to look at the wind. This is something that we've been doing a while, so we try and get a jump on it.
Great insight from Lou, Gamblu.com. All right, we're coming up against it here. We got a break coming up in a minute. On the other side, we'll get into the UFC. The soccer game is into extra time right now. They added 8 minutes. We're in the 6 of the 8 right now, so we're in a 96-minute. Bayern came close to scoring a couple of times in the last couple of minutes, but it remains 2-1 for Bayern Munich, yet significant in a couple of instances in which a couple of the big-time powers have lost. Although I wouldn't call Chelsea a big-time power, big-time brand, but they're not, they weren't favorites to win this tournament. But PSG lost last night. Chelsea lost. So we've seen some bigger-time teams struggle. Bayern Munich, not one of them. And, oh, boy, we didn't even talk about the Benfica game today against the forklift drivers. And the Ford car salesman.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week and confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Level 2, this is SportsRage. I am Morency. And we got Lou in the house. We got into some UFC. Got to love the international sport scene in the summer. But, see, we talked a lot about the Auckland team, guys. And I said the goalie's a forklift driver. And he got fired like he was working at a factory. And he told them, listen, we qualified for the FIFA Club World Cup. I got to go play. And they're like, you won't have a job if you go when you come back. He said, well, yeah, well, okay. And he went and played. Like, what a bunch of jerks at that factory. Like,
really?
So, like,
you're right.
You know what I mean?
Throw a party for the guy. Like, way to go, man. You're
is he that critical? Like that? Is he that important that you couldn't let him go play for a couple of weeks? Right? So, but as I say, the other guys like stock trader, blah, blah, they're going off about all their professions. And the guy checked in today, and it was just great with the British voice of the analysts. They're like, Paul Johnson checks in, and during the week he's worked for a Ford dealership or he's a car salesman. And he's checking in to a Benfica game. He's playing against guys on Benfica, just looking at these dudes like man, what's going on here? Except the forklift driver was like making saves today, and Benfica was only up 1-0 at the half. They were minus 5.5 on the goal line, so they were supposed to win by 6 according to the odds makers. They were winning 1-0 at the half. They pulled all their starters and they put all the backups and the kids in, and the kids were the ones that scored a bunch of goals. And then in the last minute, literally, it was almost like, wink, wink. It's like, Lou, it's always coincidence in boxing. Hey, the total was 6.5, and it ended right after it went over, and that's when the knockout happened. They called a penalty kick in the 98th minute of extra time to let Benfica get to 6. It's too good. All right, before we get to the baseball one, let me just quickly, as long as we're here, you guys got the party in Brazil earlier today? Do we got this one? All right, here we go. Best of X, baby. Let's roll. This is Flamengo fans. This is when they beat Chelsea today. Check this out. They're on the beach watching the game.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
And people thought the Edmonton Oilers fan party was big.
Sorry, you get crushed by soccer fans.
Look at this. Look at these guys. No. That'd be a big-time party, man, down there, huh? You know, though, like, and think about that's only the second round. This is only the second game of the first round. Like, that's how into it they are. You can't talk that passion. All right, as long as we were talking baseball, guys, and Lou's a big baseball guy, Cam loves baseball, and we all played baseball until the pitches got too fast. Here's a classic example. Here's a great video. This is what you see when you face a professional baseball hitter as a baseball pitcher when you are batting against them. And look how effing fast you have to react to swing the bat here.
Oh my goodness.
Like, as you see, if the pitcher decides to throw at your head, you're not getting out of the way. You don't have time.
No.
Like, that's insane, eh, Lou? That view like that coming into pitches. It's like, whoa, hey. You can't even say you're going to swing the bat that fast. You can't get it around. Like, you know what I mean? It's impossible.
Well, and that pitcher was locating pretty well, high and in, low and out. I mean, he's got that kind of control. All he's got to do is throw a big looper at my head for a strike and strike one. I'll just throw the bat down and go back to the bench. I don't even.
Hey, you're going to be like John Kruk against Randy Johnson in the All-Star game.
That's exactly right.
He put his hands out. He said,
no more.
All right,
it's amazing game, though. Yeah, no, you say it like people say golf's the hardest sport. The ball's not moving in golf. Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do, in my opinion. Like hitting 98,
I know,
100.
That's the thing in sport. People always talk about it. Baseball, yeah, it's the hardest thing. Yet, cricket people were jumping into the conversation. And cricket, they come at you hard in cricket as well. Okay, so before we get to the UFC, let's just wrap up the college baseball. So, Lou, in conclusion, are you riding the underdog here? You like the under in game one, but are you riding the underdog thinking that Coastal can add another championship, or do you think LSU are going to win the series?
Yeah, I think LSU's advantage comes if there's a game three. But in game one, I'm on Coastal. They believe, and I believe right with them. And in the series, I'm with Coastal, and then I'll recalibrate after game one. But I expect Coastal to give LSU everything they have in a game that looks like 4-2.
Lou, Gamblu.com, kicking it with us. All right, let's get into the UFC. UFC fight night. And Lou, I always ask you about, your thoughts on the card. If, it's jumped off the screen at you as a good betting card, a trickier one, a tougher one, a lot of bets or not so many bets. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like the card, Gabriel. The UFC's running at just over 65% favorite, so we got to be a little judicious in the dogs we're going to choose. But we have a lot of violence set up here for the Muslim country of Azerbaijan. I hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat close. There are Kazakh-Stani. There's Kazakh-Stani fighters.
I'm not Alex Trebek, though. I'm not the language.
Exactly.
Azerbaijan. I don't know. Azerbaijan, pretty close. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got it.
You're good, Lou. You're good.
So there we have all the Bajanis. We have Kazakh-Stanis, Kyrgyzstanis. A lot of the Muslim world is converging on Baku to fight, and the UFC has matched a lot of these regional fighters up with ship-ins from across the world. So it's important to know who the local or the regionals are. There are 3 fighters actually from the country of Azerbaijan. One is Fiziev, who's in the co-main event. The other one is this kid named Musayev. He's in a firefight of a fight with this Orabai. And then lastly, the kid that trains with the Longo Weidman team in Long Island, Nazim Sadikov. Sadikov is a lightweight. He fights a Brazilian Mota. It's going to be a great fight. Mota comes in. He's going to swing for the fences, wants to knock Sadikov out. Sadikov has wrestling over Mota, so I give Sadikov an edge, but not to the extent that he's priced. His price is way out of line. The Musayev and Orabai fight should be fire. Musayev, the local from Azerbaijan, is an underdog. The guy is wild. He's a Tasmanian devil. He's all offense, throws punches, kicks, and knees from everywhere, and Orelbai, his opponent, more a wrestler. So this should be a great clash of styles. Definitely, I'm on Musayev as an underdog there. And then lastly, Fiziev, the last of the Azerbaijani fighters, he's taking on Bahamondes in the co-main event. Fiziev opened minus 200-ish, and the money flowed in on Bahamondes. Bahamondes is younger, taller, longer, striker, has some good submission attempts in his repertoire. However, he hasn't been in with near the ilk of opponent as has Fiziev. Now, Fiziev's lost 3 of his last 3 fights, 2 to Gaethje and 1 to Gamrot. But those are world-class fighters that there's no shame in. This is a step up for Bahamondes. I'm going to take all that value with Fiziev.
All right, we'll hit the main event with Lou on the other side, and we'll let him roll. The free show continues.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
This is Sports Rage. I am Morency. We're kicking it with Lou. Gamblu.com. I am Gabriel Morency. Sirius XM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. Tony Finn will join us a little bit later on. Before that, we'll go over all the games for tomorrow. We'll set the stage. NBA Finals Sunday night. 20th time we have a Game 7. For the record, the home teams are 15-4 all time. So history is on the side of the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday night as 7.5-point favorites right now. But we'll let Lou go walk his dogs. But maybe he's got another couple of underdogs to share with us before he does that. But we didn't get to the main event here, Lou, either, with Hill and Roundtree. What are your thoughts on that fight? And for the record, Lou is a big proponent, and he was one of the first ones to be betting the point spreads of these fights. And for the record, the spread here, Roundtree, the fight is basically a pick'em. Who's going to win? -110. So I find it interesting, Lou. The fight is a pick'em at -110 right now, but I see Hill +5.5 at -150. Roundtree -5.5 +110. Over under 2.5, and the over 2.5 is +100. Under 2.5 is -140. Intriguing from a number context standpoint, this fight.
It is, and it's interesting because that total's been 3.5 most of the week. Now you can see a 2.5. I would tell people to shop 2.5, 3.5. I believe that Hill, with his advantage in stand-up, and this is going to be a stand-up fight, his reach, his length, and his youth all give him statistical advantage. That doesn't mean he's going to win, but he has been in with a better caliber of opponent. Roundtree steps up, and Roundtree's getting tremendous credit for the massive beating he took against Pereira in his last fight. And yes, he's rested and taken the ample amount of time to come back. But I've talked to coaches about this. You never know how a guy's going to come back after that kind of beating. As well, Roundtree's a little inconsistent to begin with. He hasn't fought the Prochazkas or the Pereiras. He did fight Pereira, but he hasn't fought the level of competition that Hill has. Now, Hill's a talker, he's a flapper, and he's not a very good mixed martial artist. But I think he knows enough to keep his distance and try and take this fight deep. For where I'm taking a lot of words to say is, I really like the over 2.5 here. I like the over 3.5 as well. I think Hill's going to command space. It's going to be harder for Roundtree to get in and engage, because I don't think that Hill's going to be as willing to engage as Pereira was. And for that reason, I see an over here, contrary to what most people think.
Hill is a badass, but I get what you're saying, Lou. Like, Hill's a badass, but he's one of these dudes that'll lose and then after say, I was hurt, I didn't feel well, you guys don't know what I was going through. And then, as we see, he'll lose a couple of times, Lou, and then still get in Pereira's face when he sees him in public and stuff. Like, oh, if you and I fought. It's like, we already did fight. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. We already did.
Yeah, I really don't like Hill for that reason. The other thing, Gabriel, when he was hurt, he didn't miss a UFC event. He was in the front row every event for 7 straight months. When was the guy in the gym? If you look
you're right.
at
He was taking pictures and taking. You're right. He had the drinks and hey, everybody. You're right.
And if you look at him with his shirt
videos,
off,
driving around Vegas in his sports cars. But something rang a bell when you told me, when you said, but he is a good stand-up fighter and he is a badass. And Roundtree's almost a good matchup for him, isn't it, Luke? Because you're just going to stand there and bang, and that's what Hill wants to do. He's basically a street fighter.
Basically a street fighter, and I think he's going to be smart enough to keep Roundtree at distance and try and go 1-2 on him and hit Roundtree as Roundtree's trying to come in. Again, this to me seems a step up for Roundtree, and Hill opens -200. Now you're talking to me about getting a guy that opened at 200 at a -110. I have to figure that in the handicap as well.
What about the heavyweight fight? We got about 3 minutes, Lou. We appreciate your time. What about the heavyweight fight with Curtis Blades?
Curtis Blades against a debuting Russian fighter that all he has is power. And unfortunately, the only way to get to Blades is to sneeze at him, because if you sneeze in his face, he gets knocked out. So if Kuniev can find a way to hit Blades, Blades will be in trouble. However, I think Blades is pissed. He doesn't like the treatment he's getting from the UFC. He's a legit top 5 in the heavyweight division. He's gotten beat a few times on wild knockouts, but Blades is going to mop the floor with this Russian and make this a very, very one-sided
huge,
fight.
Lou. He looks like Andre the Giant in our picture there, Gabe. See the size of that guy's chest? He's a monster. Look at this guy.
He's slower than a glacier.
Oh yeah, you can tell, big and slow. That could be a problem. Yeah, that guy's
and Usman.
Everybody looks mean in the picture.
No, he's thick, man. That guy's wow. Yeah.
And Blades has dealt with big guys and fast guys, and he gets them down. And he's going to get this kid down, and he's going to cut him up with elbows and ground and pound. Blades is unhappy with his treatment by the UFC. He's going to take it out on this kid.
Lou, Gamblu.com in the beautiful state of Arizona with us, but a very hot state in the summertime, Lou. So you keeping warm? We got about a minute on the way out here. Walk the dogs, and at least it's cooling off a little bit in the evening. And where can people find you online?
Catch me at Gamblu.com. That's where the Bout Business podcast, all my final releases will be found. Many of them I shared with you all tonight. And I appreciate Gabriel, you and Cam having me in on these Friday nights. It's always a great time.
Hey, great stuff as always, Lou. May the winners be yours this weekend. Let's get it done and enjoy the College Baseball World Series.
Thanks, guys. Good luck, everybody.
There's Lou, Gamblu.com. We got one more guest in the house with us, Tony Finn. Will join us. Tony likes to bet on baseball. We'll take a look at what's going on. We'll get you up to date with the Diamond. See if Tony has any thoughts on the College Baseball World Series. We'll get into the NBA Finals, set the table for the weekend, the soccer schedule, and we got some CFL picks as well.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week. They confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so I was going to say the action is winding down this evening, but that'd be a lie. We've got WNBA. In fact, we're going into the fourth quarter right now. The Seattle Storm 67, the Las Vegas Aces 66. In-game total 174.5. Soccer, the big-time soccer is done if you're a real hardcore DJ, and USA MLS Next Pro League. So basically it's the MLS 2. Speaking of which, though, the Vancouver Whitecaps actually called guys up. They called 3 guys up that played last week with them So they're real teams. There's stuff. I don't bet this as much as I should. Actually, I'm actually disappointed in myself. You figure I'd be on top of this, but it's true, Ken.
There's
I'm
so many games and so many how much money in a account. There's
like, I don't know who's in first place. Like some leagues, I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. They're no good. They're like, but no, I don't know. I don't follow this. Like I should though. I do follow. We've been following the AHL, Cam. They won again, Abbotsford. They're going to win. I guess they play tomorrow. Let me see if we can get a number for this right now. Let's see if it's up. And for the record, I was complaining. I said, man, these games should be on TV instead of like online only. And it turns out they are. The last couple of last night's game, they're now on. The Stanley Cup Finals are on. It's on the NHL Network. And here it is, AHL. All right, AHL Futures. AHL Futures to win series. Oh, boy. Okay, so Abbotsford are now minus 700 to win the series. The Charlotte Checkers are the Florida Panthers team. They've had enough.
Exactly.
So screw that.
Screw Charlotte Checkers. I go to Checkers for burgers, not to watch the hockey team. But anyway, go Abbotsford. Yeah, Florida's already had enough success. Go Abbotsford.
If I wasn't going to the football game tomorrow, I'd get in an Uber and go to Abbotsford, watch the game tomorrow. It's funny, in Abbotsford, they were chanting last night, "We want the cup." It was like the Stanley Cup. We want the cup. We want the cup. But they're all wearing Canuck jerseys, so it's weird. We want the cup. And it's like in Abbotsford. But it's the Abbotsford Canucks. But yeah, so the Abbotsford Canucks, guys, they're up 3-1 for the Calder Cup, the AHL championship. And they're minus 115 tomorrow. Pretty much every one of these games, 5.5. Last night it was 3-2. And I would go under the 5.5 here tomorrow, under minus 155. I would take the Abbotsford Canucks to finish it off. They're on a roll. Seeloffs has played NHL hockey before last year in the NHL playoffs. Young goalie. He's been carrying the Abbotsford Canucks, but the Canuck organization is due for something good to happen to them. It's the Calder Cup, but it'll be a nice vibe and good for the people of Abbotsford, British Columbia. All right, so Gold Cup soccer. We're not done actually for the soccer for the night. Panama and Guatemala are going on. And remember, I posted and I gave you guys the Bayern Munich Panama special, the parlay, minus 104. Panama are leading Guatemala 1-0 right now in the 63rd minute. I thought Panama would win this game, but I also know the Guatemalans wouldn't be easy. So I'm not surprised. I think Panama will probably bury another one. Let's hope they do. Just to take some stress off of this. But we got Panama to win the game. Tomorrow you got Curacao and Canada. And Houston. Canada actually, they won 6-0 against Honduras. And Honduras are good. So people are like, wow. And Canada, the number keeps going up. They're up to minus 400 right now. Curacao are fast. They don't really finish, but they're a bunch of fast young dudes. Canada should beat them by minus 1.5, though. And the Asian line right now, so the handicap minus 1.5. It's like minus 110. So basically, minus 110, Canada minus a goal and a half. Tomorrow. Canada are playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're going to roll them. The USA have already clinched their spot, but they have another game left. They're playing Haiti. They're minus 239, but that's only on Sunday. The FIFA Club World Cup action tomorrow. The team that I took to win it all, now, I didn't think, they're the favorites to win it all, but I thought that they could go deep, and the number was too good. It was like 30-1, Borussia Dortmund. So Dortmund only had a draw in their first game, but I expect them to step up tomorrow. They're playing against the Sundowns. So they're minus 264 favorites. They're going to win the game. That's at noon Eastern. Inter Milan play the Red Diamonds from Japan. They're minus 500 favorites. That's at 3 Eastern. Fluminense is minus 225 favorites. And as we stated, they're still they finally lost their first game, but these Brazilian teams have been rolling. The Argentinian teams, they're minus 225 favorites against Ulsan Hyundai. That's a good team name, Kim. They don't pretend in Japan. Like the sponsor, they just name the team the sponsor.
LG. Yeah,
we are Team Hyundai.
Yes, exactly. Hyundai versus LG versus it's all companies. I know exactly.
Their basketball league is just point blank Toyota versus Hyundai. It's like the Toyota Sunshine versus Hyundai, whatever. Like, it's like the car. It's like, all right, we're gonna beat Toyota. Hey, those bastards. Hey, make sure you beat Honda.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. The Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week and confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. Let's do this. Let's get back to Major League Baseball. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the Washington Nationals at Chavez Ravine. Dodgers up 4-2 right now. They're up 4-2. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. It was 1-0 after after the top of the first. Dodgers didn't score any runs. Then they put up 3 runs in the 3rd inning to take a 3-1 lead. Then they put up another run in the 4th to take a 4-1 lead. But then the Nationals put up 1 in the 5th. So it's 4-2 right now with the Dodgers batting. Bottom of the 5th inning, Dodgers currently minus 1,400. Total is 9.5. You can get 2.5 with the Nationals at minus 115 right now. The Athletics getting it done against the Guardians tonight. Athletics up 3-0 still right now. I tell you, that total is down to 4.5. Kind of tempting to take the over, man. They're at 3, and they're at the top of the 7th. 3-0 Athletics. They're minus 3,000 on the money line, plus 1,300 if you think the Guardians can come back. D-backs and Rockies. We've got a football game going on here. 14-8. Bottom of the 9th inning, so this game is wrapping up. Arizona's leading. Houston Astros up 2-1 on the Angels in the top of the 7th inning. You can get plus 260 for the Halos right now if you think they're going to come back. Stros minus 350 in-game total. 5.5. I'm pretty good with the in-game unders with baseball, and I don't think the Angels are going to come back, actually. Let's go under 5.5 in this game. I'm going to go under 5.5 in the Angels and Astros. Boston Red Sox and the Giants, Cam, 5-4. You got a bunch of runs there. They're in the 5th inning. 5-4 for the Red Sox, minus 180 on the money line. The Giants are plus 145. And KC leads San Diego 4-2. Right now. So there's the Major League Baseball update. We got the Dodgers minus 1.5, and I got a bunch of player props on the Dodgers that I'm unaware of because we've been watching soccer, talking MMA, and everything else. I want to get to the golf, too. Scheffler is still at the top of the leaderboard right now. Last night, remember I said I thought Nick Taylor was live. He had a good day today, but I don't think he's going to win when you consider the players that are ahead of him right now, Cam. And Taylor's nice showing for him, but I don't think he's going to end up winning.
Well, the thing about Nick Taylor is he's a closer, right? So People, when he's won his tournament, he always shows up on Sundays. Don't count him out yet. The lead's at 9.
Dude,
I'm
you're
really
getting 50-1 with Nick Taylor right now. No respect at all. This is bigger than it was last night when I liked him at 30-1.
Crazy, dude. They posted Steven Yeager at like 700-1 on the book.
He's only 3 shots off, guys, Nick Taylor. He's minus 6.
Yeah, no, the thing about Nick Taylor is, too, look at his rounds. 66, 68, that's solid. He's T7. He's 3 shots back. This guy should be 28 to 35-1, not 55. There's a lot of good golfers. I'll give this tournament credit. Thomas showed up this week. He didn't gag. Scheffler, we talked about it. Gabe and I both said, don't take the minus 120. Now he's tied for the lead instead of in the lead, and you're going to get a better price if you like him. And Tommy Fleetwood, tied for the lead, still looking for his first win on U.S. soil.
You can make an argument, though, that it's not a bad bet now with Scheffler at plus 110, now that you're going into Saturday, because this is where he pulls away from everybody.
Yeah, I still want a little bit more, Gabe, because take a look. Thomas 9, Scheffler 9, Fleetwood 9, Day 8, Dangerous Denny McCarthy. Like, Nick, there's a lot. Look at the 6 unders, too. You got
there's big-time golfers
Bradley,
here.
Taylor. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I love Scotty Scheffler, and sure, is he probably going to win the tournament?
You just can't do it. You're the wrong person to ask.
Oh, I'm not the wrong person to ask. I'm just giving you the facts. Like, the thing is, like, if it was a bunch of scrubs, like, yeah, but these guys, there's some guys that are, like, pretty good golfers that are right there. Anyway, I want more than plus 110. You're right. I'm greedy. Greedy Cam.
All right, let's bring in a very ungreedy person, very unselfish person, Tony Finn.
Yes.
All he does is give. Well, what's up, Tony?
He does his give.
I'm just trying to figure out how much to give tonight. So
depends on how much you win. So are you on the Dodgers tonight? Hey, listen, it's Friday night. I didn't think about it before I freaking bet them tonight, but they're playing the Nationals. But the Dodgers have lost like the last 4 Friday nights that Tony Finn's come on with us here. But they're winning 4-2.
I bet the Nationals tonight. I'm an idiot. I saw Mackenzie Gore on the hill. I'm like, I got a good number, plus 1.5. Hey, at least I tell you when I'm losing bets. Yeah, I'm on the Nationals. Like, it's just like I thought. The
thing with Gore, Cam, is, he's a great pitcher, but the Dodgers hit him when they saw him. Like, there was a small sample size. Mookie Betts was 3 for 6. Ohtani has 6 at-bats against him. Has 2 home runs against him. Freddie didn't play tonight, but Freeman lit him up. Like, there are a lot of – the Dodgers are hitting like 378 against them, which is actually pretty high. What did you do with the game, Tony?
What I did with the game was exactly what I didn't do last week, and that was win with the Dodgers. I played nothing on the Dodgers tonight, believe it or not, because I like them. Listen, I like the over tomorrow with the Dodgers, and I didn't play them tonight. I played Minnesota tonight. What's the score?
What are you saying, Tony? Did you bet the game? Are you saying you didn't bet the game? Is that what you're telling us?
He didn't, no, that's probably why they're winning. Stay away from them then. Don't bet them anymore.
There you go. I did not touch the Dodgers tonight. No player prop.
Seriously, Cam. Now I find out you didn't bet them. Yeah, stay away. You're the problem.
Well, our whole Friday Dodger trust issues started a long time ago, and they still seem to be. We're going to meetings still, apparently.
And did you ask about the Minnesota Twins game, Tony?
I did play. I played Minnesota tonight. Yes.
Yeah, they lost 17-6.
Yeah, both pitchers
had no hitters. Bad night. Yeah, Tony
pitchers had no hitters going into the 5th inning.
So I'm just laughing at the score, Cam. It's a football score. They lost 17-6.
Yeah, when I lose, I tend to get beat over the head too. Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much I lose, but losing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm one of
those.
Loss. Yeah, I'd rather get done early. If I'm going to lose, Just get rid of me early. Send me on my way. I don't care if it's a close game. Winning, losing pays the same, or doesn't pay the same. No, but that was an interesting game. It was an interesting game because I like the umpire, Bill Miller, big strike zone. It was two no hitters really going into the 5th inning, and then of course Ryan leaves, and so does the young rookie from Milwaukee, and then runs start coming in bunches. So there it is.
Rafael Devers night tonight. So it's pretty wild that they play each other so quickly after the turnaround.
Yeah.
And all the bad blood. Yep. So we got a high-scoring game. It's 5-4 for the visitors. The Red Sox are winning 5-4. A lot of baseball left in this game, though. Devers has a walk, but he's 0 for 2. So he has, and I played him too. I fell into the trap, and I'm going to go over to 1.5 total bases, but he could still get a double here. There's still time for him.
I saw that, and I said I really was happy for him that this game wasn't at Fenway. Because I have a feeling
that would have been
Fenway,
ugly and hostile. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. 100% I agree because it wasn't the team made it look like it was a
a lot of fans, Tony, a lot of fans actually blame the team for this, right? They're like, I saw someone, it was a good sort of analogy. One of the beat writers for the Boston Red Sox, and he basically said the headline was Rafael Devers a diva? Yes. And then it said, but divas win World Series championships. Teams that can't figure out how to re-sign and get along with their superstars do not. And it went through the Mookie Betts, Bogarts, like you go down the list. So there's a lot of people in Boston. Yeah, Devers didn't want to move and stuff, but a lot of people are just sort of fed up with the Red Sox kind of screwing things up.
True. No, I agree with you. I don't think the Mookie Betts was a situation where they were both similar only in that they're icon, kind of Boston Red Sox homegrown. They were icons to a degree, but the Red Sox have never been shy about moving guys along that they didn't feel like were team players, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think they've ever had that problem, and most of the Red Sox.
Yeah, and they always rip you in the media once you leave after. They say what a bad person you were, and this guy was terrible. They're the worst at it. They're the worst. Yeah. That's why I saw Bogarts, who's buddies with Devers, and he did a good interview about it. And they said, "What do you think about the player position stuff?" And he said, "A lot of you people don't understand." He goes, "There's a big difference between asking someone to move positions and telling them that they're not going to be on the field anymore."
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday night, Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week and confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're rolling. This is SportsRage. I'm Gabriel Morency, still 4-2 for the Dodgers. We jumped in on that under 5.5, and son of a bitch, the Angels just tied the game. It's 2-2 right now. Total jumped to 6.5. The Giants just tied the game with the Red Sox. As I was saying, there's a lot of baseball left in this one. I think San Francisco are going to pull this one out, guys. Just my feel. It's minus 115 on the money line right now on both sides, so it's a pick 'em. but I think the San Francisco Giants get it done. I don't love it. Just sort of a gut feel pick. All right, Tony, NBA Finals. We haven't talked too much NBA Finals tonight, but it is on Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, Sunday night, Oklahoma City Thunder, -7.5. The total, lowest total of the series by far, guys. To put in context, the first total of the game one was 229.5. It got bet down to like 228.5 before tip-off of game one. That's what it started out as. We saw the last game was 222.5 at tip-off. They're not playing around anymore. It's 215. We had a guest on earlier, Tony, that brought up the fact that the history of Game 7s in the NBA has been unders. And not just in the finals, but you know what I mean? Game 7s in the NBA, because they play tighter, they play more defensive, they actually play defense. And also, if it's a blowout, and it could end up being a blowout where, it wouldn't surprise me if the Thunder won this game 108 to 88 or something like that. Very similar to the way the Pacers just won last night.
True. I don't. This has been a series. In truth, the Thunder have been pretty tough for me to figure out this entire tournament. Where are they going to be? As soon as you think they're set up to succeed and end the series.
Well, not really, Tony. In a sense, they're 5-5 on the road and they're 10-2 at home. I mean, they're pretty predictable.
Yeah. I'm mostly talking ATS or against the number, against the spread. They covered their first game against the spread. 2 games ago when they were in Indy, right? The first game 0-8, I think, on the road against the number. Is that correct? Till they covered that game. So yeah, I mean let's put it this way. It's difficult. It's difficult to back Indiana in this game in the Thunderdome against a Thunder who have been marvelous, wonderful, almost perfect, unbeatable at home.
Tony, you know what they did though? And I'm going to say this, and sure, Oklahoma City should win. I don't know if they're going to cover. I really liked what I saw from the Pacers. And Gabe, Rick Carlisle came out with some unique defenses and stuff, and it rattled their cages. They're like, these guys were doing stuff. It's almost like he's a magician. He saved his act for that game. They murder him. But, one game under the Oklahoma City still, you said it. They're a great home team, but I love what I saw from the Pacers. And now I think they can go into Game 7 with a little bit of confidence after that last game.
Oh, they've got confidence. There's no dispute. They feel they can win this series. The thing is, though, with Oklahoma City, they're 10-2 straight up on their home court. The 2 games they lost at home, they were winning by double digits in both of them, and they lost at the buzzer. Like Halliburton hit a miracle 3 once, and then they lost earlier to Denver, who hit a miracle 3 at the buzzer. So, basically, the Thunder have lost 2 times in the playoffs on miracle 3s at the buzzer. So that's not an easy thing to deal with. Mm-hmm. I think, and guys, for me, Cam, the fact that it's down to 7.5 now, Tony, I'm walking. I hope it goes down more, but. We just saw the other night, bro. They could be trailing, and those little Thunder runs, Tony. Next thing you know, dude, they covered that number by 7 on the road. The way I think it's going to play out, it'll be like the last game that they played in Oklahoma City. Yeah. I think Oklahoma City will be up by 10 early. They'll be up by 10, 12, 13 all night type of deal. Except this time, I think they'll pull away, or they'll just sort of hang on and win by 10 or 12 or something. But I'm going to lay the 7.5, which is very unlike me. What are you doing with the game, Cam?
I'm with you on that. I mean, real quickly, you guys, about this time last week, a week ago, you guys were both really down because Indiana had really choked it away. They had the game not won, but they had the cover for certain.
Well, I was down because they didn't cover. Yeah, they blew the cover.
That's right.
Well, it took friggin' Scott Foster and friggin' 2 technicals, all the other BS that happened in that game. That game it should be investigated. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing with the game, Gabe. I got that ticket with Indiana before the game with that number, and surprisingly, it's actually good because the money line's a lot less. If you got Indiana at 10 or 12 to 1, the money line's under 400. So it's something I got to think about. I haven't really pulled the trigger on anything yet, but I got to think long and hard to find out how to make money.
I think the Thunder roll them. What about the total, Tony? The 215.
Well, listen, I can't play under 215. I can't do that. Not in this game. Simply, boy, how you outlined this, I think sets the scenario. And this is a game where I haven't been able to figure out the totals. Really, I've been playing under most of this final series. But I have a problem playing under that number, mostly big time, because Indiana's they're a fuzzy group. You can't believe anything they say about injuries. Halliburton is a hamstring. We don't know if he's going to play. He comes out and in the first quarter scores 15, 18, whatever the hell it is. But I would be over this number before I would be under it, so I'll probably just stay away and join you. And I'd love to be laying 6.5. I'd love to be laying 6.5 tomorrow as opposed to 7.5 there right now. We'll see.
One thing with this series, with the totals, it's been a common pattern where the games actually start off pretty quickly. And you're surprised. It's like, oh, look, they scored 60 in the first or 59 in the first or 55 in the first. But as it goes on, it just starts to hit a wall. And oftentimes one team is just sort of tapped out. We've had a few close games, but now we're getting into the typical, we beat you, you beat us by a big margin, and going back and forth now. So as it is, and obviously we'll post our picks online, guys, but we're not going to be on again. Next time we speak on Monday, we will have an NBA, a first-time NBA champion. Either the Pacers or the Thunder are going to win the championship for the first time. But I do believe it'll be the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I think they will cover the 7.5, and good parlay material through the weekend to put the Thunder. I'm not dismissing the Pacers. I've rode them, but I just think home court's the difference here, guys. You know what I mean? They're a dominant home team. They're a completely different team at home, where they flake out on the road and they're inconsistent. At home, they're all supercharged. They feed off the crowd. They're just a different team at home. And SGA gets to the free throw line more when he's at home, and he just sort of takes it to the rack. I don't want to get in front of this juggernaut home team right now. We'll wrap up on the other side. Let's roll.
On June 25th at 7:30 p.m., ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis, because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week. They confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All right, this is SportsRage. I am Morency. We've got a couple of minutes left here, so let's get down to business. Cavs CFL tomorrow. Ottawa Red Blacks and the Calgary Stampeders at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the BC Lions at 7 o'clock Eastern. Ottawa are plus 3, 0-2 on the season. They faced a tough schedule, and They really have. Like, Ottawa are better than their record would indicate, but they're also missing their quarterback. But they do have a lot of good players on their team. The total is 49.5. Ottawa are +3, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are 3.5-point favorites over the BC Lions. Jeremiah Masoli will be the starting quarterback for the BC Lions tomorrow. Total 50.5. What are your picks?
I'm leaning Ottawa right now on my FanDuel. They always do the hook. There's no flat line, so 3.5 with Ottawa, and the juice is it's the same. So that's a big hook, I think, maybe. Gabe, I know we disagree a little bit. We've been both on the overs earlier this week. I think maybe Ottawa-Calgary might stay under that 48.5. Don't love it, but that's my lean. And I like your BC Lions. I like both underdogs. I think the Lions, Mazzoli, dumb down the playbook. He's a veteran of the league. Just figure it out. Don't do anything dumb. And I got to be honest with you, Strevler is a good game manager with good feet. So we haven't seen Collaros play in a while. So I don't know. I'm going to take the home dog in your Lions.
I'd like to take the Lions, and I have an incredible track record of going to Lion games and leaving like everything always works out. I go to a Lion game, I bet in-game big, and always wins. I got a weird feeling about this one. I'm just saying, like, this is the one where I'm like, oh boy, like this is a tough one that we're walking into here. Thing is, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers always beat BC, and in fact, let's see here. So they've beaten 6 of the last 7 times. They just played last week. They just played last Thursday, and Winnipeg beat them 34-20.
I was on Winnipeg that game. Remember the steam in that game? But now it's different. You're getting a BC team at home. We're getting 3.5. And I know Mazzoli's a backup, but he's been there, done that. We'll see.
But as I was saying, they've beaten them 3 straight times. They've beaten 6 of the last 7, and they've beaten 8 out of the last 10 times. It's a bad stylistic matchup for the BC Lions playing Winnipeg. The Lions match up well with finesse teams, like teams that throw the football. The Lions have a good secondary. They're fast on defense. They're not big. Like, the Lions have a hard time stopping the run. They get bullied. Like, the only thing is, it's kind of, no one really runs the ball that much in the CFL. But the one team that does is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So this is why they're 2-8 against them in their last 10 games. They can't stop them. Now, Brady Oliveira, the star running back, is out for Winnipeg, but the kid that came in, actually, I think he's from Vancouver, actually. The kid that came in, the running back, actually lit it up and ran for like 130 yards against BC, too. So, like, it doesn't seem to matter who it is. BC just can't stop the run. I think there'll be points in the game, though, even though Masoli is starting, and I'm not a big Masoli guy. That's another thing, too. I'm like, ugh. But he's had all week with the ones. He will move the ball a bit. And he'll probably throw a couple interceptions to lead to short fields, too. So I do think the game's going to go over to 50.5 tomorrow. I'll have my full complement of CFL picks tomorrow. Tony, Major League Baseball tomorrow. You like anything?
I do. I like Grant Holmes tomorrow again, but he's still got 24 in the last 12 innings, 11 and 2/3 over his last 2 starts, I should say, which is also included 15 strikeouts last time out, walked 5, but still good enough tomorrow. In a game I think it's underpriced against Perez and the Marlins at $150 in Miami. Hitters Park. Schmidt, I like him. Holmes, I like him over the Miami Marlins. I also like Schmidt, though. I like Clark Schmidt tomorrow with the Yankees. Not that you're going to get a great price, because typically I think you would have gotten a good price if Baltimore had played up to the potential this year. They've been a little better lately, but I like Schmidt against an Orioles offense that's going to strike out quite a bit tomorrow. And Dustin May, I like the over tomorrow. Dustin May's been pretty iffy last 6 starts, 3 qualities, but boy's been bombed too.
Yeah, the old Friday Dodgers shot. Yeah, had to get
yeah,
sometime.
Yeah, 6-2 now.
I'm done. Yeah, you mushed my
Dodgers winning 6-2. Cam, the Blue Jays lost. I always tell people in Toronto, when both teams are playing, or multiple teams are not both going to win, they both lost tonight. The Argonauts lost. The Blue Jays lost. But Barrios on the hill here tomorrow against Savali. Blue Jays -210. Little pricey, but I think the Jays bounce back tomorrow. Good parlay material.
I agree with you 100%. And their kid today, Turnbull, got rocked. Gave up runs early, and he gone.
Other than that, you're on your own. Later.